Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Overcome Yourself podcast. As you know, my name is Nicole, and I'm so excited to be here today with Christy. And Christy is another one of Brooke's amazing clients. Shout out to Brooke. We always give her a shout out when she recommends her clients on my show. And so, Christy, take it away. Tell us a little bit about you and all of your awesomeness.
Well, my name is Christy, and I live in Sunnyside, Spain, with my partner. And a little bit about me, I have a little bit of a background in psychology, and then I transitioned to adult education where I got my master's, but in between I got certified as a life coach. And so I've been a life transition coach for the past, 10 plus years. And I transitioned to Spain, so that's where I'm living now. Fun fact about me is that I love gelatos, and so everywhere I've traveled, my partner will always say I'm looking for the first place that has gelatos.
That is awesome. That's delicious. So tell me a little bit more about your business and how you help your clients.
Yes, perfect. So what I do is I'm a life transition coach. And so I love supporting women through their transition process. And it's in various layers, whether it's relationship, going through a different stage in life, moving, changing careers, because it's something that I have personally overcome. So the majority of my clients nowadays is this. I help them to transition in all aspects of their lives.
That is amazing. And that is so cool because I remember, I think it was like I've gone to like a psychologist's office or something, and they've given me a form and they're like, have you had, when you're depressed, and they're like, have you had any of these major life events? And what are they? They're moving, they're like leaving a relationship, having a baby, getting a new job. And so we know that these are very, very high stress situations. And so I think it's really, really cool that you specialize in really just in that key demographic, because it really is so important and often overlooked. So can you tell me a little bit about, like the fundamentals, like what is, one of the biggest tips that a lot of your clients, you always, like we have like a certain thing that a lot of clients, it comes back up again and again. So what is that for you, and how do you navigate that? How do you help with that transition?
So it varies, right? Depends on what type of transition it is. Nowadays, a big load of my clients is going through a career transition. Mm-hmm. So in the career transition, it's depending on what age you are. Most of my clients, as I am in my early 40s, a lot of them are also a little bit older. And not to say that I also have some people that are in their 20s that are trying to figure out what it is that they want to do. So those two types of profiles are very different. They have very different needs. So I wouldn't say that I have a specific tip for each, for both of them as for one. But I think in each case, I think, for example, a woman who is transitioning, who's older, we have a lot of fear because we've developed our career, we've built our career for quite some time. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm not happy anymore. I don't want to do this. And is this all to life? Is there more to life? And it's a very scary process to think about beginning again, and it depends on who is in their life that is going to impact their decision on transitioning. So I think for this, it affects, I think, not only career but also relationships and all the other areas of transitions. There's the personal factor and then the external factor that we have to consider. So I tend to help my clients first to kind of analyze that situation, trying to really assess what's around them and what it is that that's most important for them. And then we go from there. If it's through, I had a client that was she just had cancer and she was overcoming her, chemotherapy, and she had to leave her job for quite some time. So going back into the workforce, she was like, I'm not worth it, like no one's going to want me, the younger people. And so it's I think at the end of the day, if I could give one tip to anyone, it would be really the mindset, working on that, because we are actually our worst critic, and we are so capable to do so much more than we believe that we can. So the limitation all starts within us, and also the world around us.
Yeah, that's such a big deal, because a lot of people are like, everybody talks about mindset, just do it. And then you're like, but if you don't believe that you can do it, then how are you? Like, right? It's so ingrained in the base of it when you're going through the tough times. Because if we know one thing for sure, is that there's going to be tough times. We're going to be accomplishing goals, and something's going to happen. And so, yeah, you can't. That's where the mindset comes in, because it's in those hard times that you have to keep doing those things. And if you don't have the mindset in place, you just can't. Like, it just doesn't work.
If there's any guarantees, the guarantee is that there's always going to be problems. And so it's about how strong you are and what you know about yourself, to be really self-aware, and to also feel like you are worth it of anything that you want in this life. It's completely possible. It's just a matter of knowing your worth and going after it,
Yes, you don't have to ask for permission. There's no one that's going to give you permission
That's it.
to do anything. And sometimes, it's like we're waiting around, and it's like, well, somebody's going to come and give me permission to post more on social media, or someone's going to come and give me permission to charge more. But really, like, there's no that person. And so we have to really step in and be like, I want to show up more. I want to make more. I want to do more, and then work those habits. So my book is all about gratitude, learning. I had to learn to adjust my perspective by practicing gratitude, and then applying tiny habits, right? Because I couldn't convince myself to do like a whole project, but I could do one tiny little thing, and one tiny little thing done over and over and over compounds into great things. So can you talk to me a little bit about, do you find that gratitude, like, do you help your clients with that as well? How do you feel about gratitude?
Actually, it's funny that you say that, because this is the same client that I was telling you about that was overcoming cancer. She, after being out for so long, she was feeling really bad about herself. And so she created this huge list of things to do. And she was really stressed, because every single day she was like, I need to do this, I need to do that, and I said, why don't you create a list of gratitude every day? And why don't you start with that? This is what I have. And so every day, at the end of the day, look again at that list. And instead of checking off your to-do list or stressing about what you haven't done, look at what you do have, because it shifts your mindset. And the other thing that you mentioned, I really love, and it's actually something that I also really, really believe in through all of my transitions, is that little habit or that little thing that you have to do every single day, but consistently, because that's what it is. That's what mindset is. That is what setting goal is. When you say something to yourself, I know they talk a lot about you look yourself in the mirror and say I'm pretty, or say I'm worth it, and it feels super uncomfortable. So it's just like that when you're starting out a business, or when you're making some changes in your life. But if you actually just start doing it for so long, for so much, so much of it, you actually start to believe it. And that's what shifts. And that's the shift that happens when you do things consistently, and feeling really good about the little things that you do, because those little things are going to become the big things. Oftentimes when we are going through a change or whatever is going through our life, we always want something that is, much bigger than what's attainable. And so then it becomes impossible for us, because it's like, I'm never going to get there. It's never going to happen for me. But if you just, it's just something as simple as, I'm going to wake up today and decide I'm going to take this one step. I'm going to do this one step for myself or for my business, and just that in itself is going to change your life.
Yes. So I love what you said. I'm a big believer in tracking things. So writing down gratitude. I have several journals on Amazon, because it it changed everything. And I fought it for a really long time. One of the podcast episodes I talk about how I was fighting gratitude because it seems so small, so simple. It's like too simple. Like just writing down 3 things that you're grateful for. You're like, yeah, but I need like, like a big chapter book that's going to tell me the steps. And then you start doing it, and little by little, the feeling pretty, the feeling strong, those are byproducts of what you're focusing on, right? So maybe you don't look in the mirror and think, oh, I'm so pretty, but maybe instead of berating yourself, because that's what I used to do, and be like, look, this is wrong, what if we started like, you know what? I'm so grateful for my eyes. I'm grateful for my eyelashes. I'm grateful for this skin that, is like my billboard. Like, this is how people see me, and start maybe finding tiny things that we can be grateful for. I love my mouth because it lets me eat cake. I don't know, whatever, like whatever it is, we make it fun. And then that starts adjusting our perspectives. And then all of a sudden you pass by the mirror and you're like, wow, you look hot today. And you're like, who is that? Oh my God, am I talking to me? And yes, because it's a byproduct of it's the overflow of the things we're talking about. I love that.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about your story and how you became a life transition coach?
Sure. So, well, it's quite a story, but I will try to condense it. I've been through many transitions in my life, but I think that sometimes it doesn't, when it rains, it pours. And that's the expression, I suppose. But it literally happened to me. And so my first transition started as I was finishing up my master's degree. My partner of 13 years cheated on me and gotten another woman pregnant. And at that point, I was at the brink of turning 30. So that was, when you spend a decade with someone, it's kind of like, oh my God, what just happened? But that was the start of everything. And then at the same time, my father was diagnosed with cancer, and soon after, actually, he passed away. So I thought that I had all the time in the world to, to kind of deal with these kind of things, but I didn't. So those 2 transitions happened at once. And because of that, I was living in Austin, Texas at the time, and I decided to move back to Atlanta, which is where my home is. And so that was the transition, one of the transitions that I was going through. And then I got the job of my dreams, and I decided, because my father had passed away and I was trying to heal from everything, I went to Spain just for a trip to heal myself. It was like a month trip. And when I came here, I received only kindness from the people here. And during this trip, as I have always been the one who helps people in my life, I was actually helped by an older man when I was lost. And, that day that he helped me, I was like, I don't know how to thank you. And it's something as simple as, helping me find directions or bringing me to the place I needed to. I never received that kind of help. So I asked him, I was like, how can I thank you? And he told me, it's like, nothing, enjoy my country, love my country, and come back. And, I really felt my father in that moment when I met this older man. And so although I got the job of my dreams in Atlanta and I was back home with my mom and my siblings, my heart wasn't there. So I decided to come to Spain and start over again.
That's amazing.
At 30, most people would be like, what are you doing? Because, you just got a great job, a great pay. You worked so hard for this, go date, go do something else. Why are you moving countries, But it's what I did, and it was super scary. And so when I came here, I started working as a coach for many multinational companies. And although I was helping them with in their business, I realized that what I was coaching them through was also they were trying to shift in their careers, and then they were having multiple changes in their life, in personal and professional. So I was like, maybe this is something that I was meant to do, because I had gone through so much. But I think that, through the breakup, I had to learn a lot about myself. I think that was probably one of the most difficult transitions, because it wasn't just dealing with the external world, but also looking at myself and who I was, and finding myself again, and finding my worth. So that translated to so many areas of my life. And I always blamed it on culture and where I'm living, but it's not. It all had to do, it started with me. It started with, why was I putting up with all that situation? Why did I allow things to happen the way it did? So it's and so nowadays I love what I do, and I love making an impact on other people, and seeing that change in their life is so beautiful for me, because I've been there.
Yes, that is amazing. And, I'm actually hosting a summit this week. And one of the things that we were talking about this morning was how uncomfortable is where the magic usually happens. Not painful,
Yeah,
but uncomfortable.
super.
Right? Because we that's where, that's where the magic happens, when we get out of that comfort zone, when we're working out and we're like, oh, this is so annoying. That's where all the magic is happening. You can't stop
Yes,
there.
yes, yes.
And in our business, when things are just like this week with the summit, I haven't talked about this yet, but we're doing a lot of stuff. I wake up last week, I had like a huge knot in my back. I couldn't move. My partner went to a doctor's appointment, came home, the car died, went to work, the scooter died. Um, and so we ended up having to like replace all of these things. We were stuck in the house for 2 days. But it's uncomfortable, but that's where the magic was happening. And so we practice a lot of gratitude, be like, well, at least, there's a lot of things that could have happened and they didn't. It happened here, we can get everything. But it's in those moments where like, are you just gonna like, well, forget this is so uncomfortable, or are you gonna be like, of course, so let's just keep going. So I love your story though of resilience, of how you just literally picked up and went. You followed your heart. And that's exactly what I was talking about, not needing permission. Like sometimes you could have waited around and been like, well, I can wait until so-and-so invites me, or until I save up enough money, or when it makes more sense. And you were like, nah, let's do it. And a lot of times when we follow those intuitions, right, we're taking that inspired action, imperfect action. But beautiful things happen, I love it. What part of Atlanta did you live in?
I live in DeKalb County, and I actually
Okay.
I heard that you're in Florida, because I grew up in Miami. I don't know what
Yes,
part of
I'm
Florida
in
you're in.
Miami. And actually, I was asking because I also lived in Noonan, and usually people don't know where that is, and so I say Atlanta. So I was like, okay, but where in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome.
Small world.
Yes,
we have
right?
some type of connection.
Yes. So what part of Miami? Where did you live around here?
I was in Kendall. I was near the falls. Yeah.
Oh, okay, down south. Okay, I'm by the hospital, so like and Jackson. Because my partner works there, so we're like towards the downtown area. So that's so cool.
Oh, awesome. My brother was born at Jackson, so.
Oh, cool. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Yes, small world. And now you're all the way in Spain. Oh my God, that is amazing. So wrapping up, Christy, I've loved everything. I love your teaching. I love the transition. Like I said, it's so smart. It's just like that need that's out there, and you need the solution. So tell me a little bit about how we can follow you on social media. Like, where can we find you? How can we connect with you so we can get more of your awesomeness?
Perfect. Well, first of all, I wanted to thank you so much, Nicole, for having me on here today. It's where to find me. I have Instagram, and I believe Brooks had sent you the username, yes, and also
down there
website.
in the comments.
Yes. So I also have my website.
Perfect. Okay, so all of those links are going to be in the comments. And do you have an offer that you've got going on right now that you want to let our listeners know about? Like, how can we work with you if we're in a transition and we need some help?
So it depends on everyone, right? Depending on what
Of course,
transition and how much time they need. So
of
right now,
course.
I mean, I do have a 30-minute free consultation. So
Ooh,
if a client is, if anyone is interested, I'd love to connect with your listeners. So if anyone's interested, please feel free to contact me, and I would be more than happy to start speaking to you to see if coaching is right for you. But
awesome.
something that I do want to kind of leave with is that I recently heard this guy. He's very popular. His name is Jay Shetty, and he mentioned that self-worth starts with hard work. And I think we find our worth when we're going through something difficult, not something easy.
Mhm.
So when you were talking about being uncomfortable and having gratitude through the process, taking those small little steps, if I could encourage anyone, transitions, as difficult as it may seem, is completely worth it. And regardless of what it is, it's going to be uncomfortable, super uncomfortable through any transition, but at the end of it, if you have something that you're working towards, it's definitely going to be worthwhile.
Yes, that is so true. And you know what? Like, even when I left my job and I was like, I'm doing this, I staked, my flag in the ground. I was like, I'm not going back. That was really scary. And there was really uncomfortable times. And I
Mhm,
remember not being able to like buy food on
mhm.
Christmas, and I remember those times, but I also remember the rewards where now, like, around the holidays now we like sponsor other families. And so yes, it is so 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 worth it when it's scary. It is,
Yes,
but it is
that's it.
amazing. And when you have a coach, when you have someone on your side, because that's really what we need. We probably already know a lot of the things that we need to do. I
Yeah.
find that with my clients, like, I'm not giving you any revolutionary information.
Mhm.
Like these are fundamentals, they're essentials that we're teaching. It's implementing and doing the day to day and sticking to it when
That's
shit sucks
mhm.
and
Yes,
doing it
and
anyway, right?
exactly. And I think it's and also knowing that you are worth whatever it is that you want, it's
Yes.
completely possible. A lot of people think that
Mhm.
it's impossible, and that's the thing. It's not. It all starts with you. When you really believe in that and when you really get to that point in your mind and know what's blocking you from obtaining what you want, I think that's when the magic happens.
Yes, it's such a testament because something I've been talking about a lot this month is I remember when I was praying for meeting people like you.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, so my vibrations are off because the people around me are, these are not like, the five people that I want to be around. I don't want to be like these people. And so, how do I do that? And I was like, I got to raise my vibrations. And so I just wanted to say I'm living proof that it all starts with your mindset. You raise your vibrations and
Yeah.
people are gonna come to you. Like situations, like different things happen. And so yes, it's all in the mindset. So any final tips, Christy, before we sign off?
No, I think that if the final tip I would highly advise anyone who's listening to this is first and foremost to just be kind to yourself. I think
Yes.
through in this moment, after we've gotten out of the pandemic, a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world, and maybe in your own personal lives, but just don't forget to be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's so, so, so important because we are often, we can't control what's outside, but we can control
Mhm.
what's inside. So just be kind to yourself. I think that's my greatest advice.
Yes. Would you allow someone else to talk to you the way you talk to you? And if the answer
Exactly.
is no, it's time to start thinking
To
about what
change
you're
the script.
thinking
Yeah.
about and start making those changes. And it starts with recognizing, oh,
Yeah.
this is not a good thought. Why am I thinking, oh, there's
Yeah.
another one? And so before you even try to change it, just start recognizing them, and you will be
That's it.
surprised at how many there are in there. And then you can start
Exactly.
cleaning them out.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yay. Okay, this has been so wonderful, Christy.
Yes.
We will see you next time on the Overcome Yourself podcast. Thanks for
All
being
right. Thank you
here.
so much, Nicole. Have a good one. Thanks.
Thanks, you
Bye-bye.
too. Bye.